It's complicated because there's obviously licensing for the artists. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, you have to. So yeah, I chose. I pointed my makeup artist in the general direction, and she also understood the character quite well. We worked together a bit before, and she gave me some examples, and I chose them. And then she's like, "Let me go see if I can clear these." And then some were cleared, and some were not, and we had to like go back and pick others.
Hi, Morena. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I like your chair. It's got a cool, it's like cushion or something behind you, or
Yeah, it's a really cozy. It's I call it my interview chair. It's
oh my
like I
God,
can
I've
hang out in
never
this
seen
chair all
one.
day.
That is amazing. I've never seen one like that, but it makes all the sense in the world. That would be a lot more relaxing with back support
Oh,
and
it's great.
support. Smart choice. I mean, in the world of Zoom. So, where in the world are you today?
I'm in New York. It's starting to get dark already. I can't believe it.
Uh-huh. How is the spirit, Christmas spirit, New York already? Trees
It's
up and
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's nice. It's cold. We've even had some flurries already. I see you have got a nice Christmas tree behind you.
I do. I'm in Chicago, so well, actually, it might be coming your way. There's like a 55-degree day here, which is
Yeah, it's
like
coming to us
not
this
normal.
weekend.
So,
I know, it's crazy.
well, at least the holidays are coming near, and you got a movie, so that's a good 1-2 combo right there, right?
That's right.
I spoke to Pierce yesterday, and wow, what a bunch of interesting characters in this film. I'm curious, when you first read the script and you saw taxidermist, were you wondering where this is going to go for your character or whatnot? Because I thought she had
Yeah,
a lot of character and
I
range
had
to
to
her.
like yeah, I had to sort of like I was like, wow, what a cool premise, and I never really thought about the correlation between a taxidermist and cleaning up dead bodies. Apparently, one lends itself to the other. So it was a fun revelation. I enjoyed this character very much. She's obviously no BS kind of not
Huh?
damsel in distress, and it was nice to play somebody with some real vulnerabilities, but also just a little bit tough.
Yeah, no question. Did you have some freedom to kind of play around with the character and make it your own in a way too?
Yeah, for sure. Philip was very collaborative, and we talked extensively about, I was cast a bit late in the process, so we didn't have a ton of time, but I really wanted to embody the character, make it my own. And we had a lot of conversations about who she was and what are some of the things that we could do physically, like the tattoos and things to really
Mhm.
um, quickly draw a picture, paint a picture for the audience. And the accent was also something that we discussed. And all of it kind of shaped my view of the character.
Well, I'm curious, when you get tattoos in a movie, do you get to choose what kind, or is this kind of like set? I always wonder that. Like, how much input do you have? What style? Do you get like a sheet or a booklet of like, oh, these are the choices or whatnot?
Um, it's complicated because there's obviously licensing for the artists. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, you have to. So yeah, I chose. I pointed my makeup artist in the general direction, and she also understood the character quite well. We worked together a bit before, and she gave me some examples, and I chose them. And then she's like, "Let me go see if I can clear these." And then some were cleared, and some were not, and we had to like go back and pick others. It's tricky, but I do feel it's important. It was an important part of this process to really
Yeah.
like be able to choose them and have each one be an actual meaning.
Yeah, it's an insight to the character, and to a person in general. Always like if someone has tattoos, there's some usually meaning behind it. So it's kind of a tipping
Yes.
point that you might, make about someone by kind of seeing them and, especially have them
Yeah.
in view, right? So
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. I also spoke to Pierce about it. That's you got to share a scene with James Caan. Might have been one of his final scenes. I don't know how you guys shot it in order. Towards the end, that table scene and did it feel special to you when you were in that scene? Was there like a moment that you felt like, wow, this is meaningful because I don't know if James is going to do another movie or not, but at that point, but did it feel different for you being in that scene with Pierce and James towards the end? Because it felt, even as a viewer, it felt big. It felt something like not only a personal scene, but it felt like a monumental sort of scene between you three. And just like, I wonder, you personally, how you kind of the thought process you had when you were shooting those.
Yeah, it was really incredible. It was one of my first days on set.
Mm,
And it was, you know, there was an irreverence. Obviously, you're dealing with an incredible movie star and somebody
yeah.
who's made some of the most memorable films of all time. I was definitely nervous and in awe of meeting him. He was very kind, very frail.
Mhm.
I don't think any of us had a sense that that was his last film, but he definitely looked like he was struggling a little bit with his health. But so good and so sharp and so on it. And I still don't know till this day if he was acting or actually like flubbing his lines, because his character has dementia and is
Mhm.
struggling. So, I mean, I can't tell. Like he's so good that you're like, is he fucking with me right now? Like, what's going on?
Pierce thought he was just shooting from the hip. That was his take on it. He's like, yeah, this is just Jimmy being Jimmy with just kind of taking in what the script is, but doing his own thing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's amazing how sharp he came off too. It's just
Yeah.
amazing that
Yes.
the talent of that individual. But it's a very memorable scene too, and it was cool to even watch as a viewer to see that. Um, I mean, there's always onset stories. I mean, what is how cool is Pierce to work with? I mean, it's he's an icon himself in a lot of ways, and you've worked with so many great actors throughout your career. But what was it like interacting with Pierce? Because you guys share a lot of great scenes, and that deadpan humor was always spot on, and it really worked between you two. I thought it was great. It came out, but how was it on set?
Yeah. I mean, you spoke to him. He's such a kind person.
Mhm.
He's so open and giving. And I was very nervous to meet him. And you never know when you're working with somebody who's had such an extensive body of work if they're going to be, if they're going to be like ego games or they're going to have power struggles and you're going to like have to defer to them all the time. And he was not like that at all. He was so open and kind. And we discussed our characters he was really like present. There was none of this like, oh, I'm going back to my trailer kind of stuff. Like
Mhm.
he was just so open. I keep saying that word, but like he just really was very inviting and kind. And I thoroughly enjoyed working with him.
That's fantastic. You know, I've been a fan of yours and your husband's work, and I came across at a point where I used to watch the OC as a teenager, as a kid, and you were there for a few episodes. I wonder if you guys connected. You and Ben ever connected on it. Obviously, you two were on Gotham and all that, but I wonder if there was ever a crossing of the paths on that show when you did a few episodes.
He will deny this to his
Uh-huh.
dying day, but he blew me off. I walked up to him. I said, hi, I'm shooting, the scene. And I was a very small role in a bunch of those episodes. And he was like, and very unimpressed. He claims he was just stressed and tired and whatever. Like he doesn't even remember me.
You remembered though.
Um, I remembered because he was like, that heartthrob with the wife beater on and
Uh-huh.
stepping out of his trailer. And I was like, oh, hi. But I keep telling him he could have, we could have gotten together much sooner had he paid attention.
I guess life works in mysterious ways that you get to work later on, years later, and it came full circle. It was just an amazing thing too.
Yep,
I thought of that for a second. I'm like, oh wow, I wonder if this ever happened. But hey, it was meant to happen another time. So it all
that's
worked.
right.
Before I let you go, I know people are losing their mind over Deadpool 3. What was the experience working on you for that one? Was it different this time around? I'm just curious. I know you probably can't say much, but I'm curious what was the experience on it because it's going to be a monster movie with a load of different characters.
Yeah, it's going to be quite something. It was a lot of fun, as always. Short for me,
Mhm.
but quite iconic. I mean, I think fans will not be disappointed.
Oh, I can't wait for it too. Like I said, I've been a fan of your work from Days of V, and
Yes.
back in the day, good stuff. And great to see you and just doing a lot of fun, different roles. Whenever I see you, I know it's something different every time. You're always going to either have a different take on something, so it's always just enjoyable. So looking forward to the next, and you and Pierce knocked it out of the park, and Fast Charlie here.
Thank you so much. Nice to
Thank you
meet
so
you.
much. Happy holidays.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.